Something I've struggled with for a long time is when people question my character or my integrity. It genuinely gets to me. Over the years, I've experienced abuse from patients when I'm simply trying to do my job, especially when I was working on the front line as an emergency paramedic. And in those moments, it's easy to take it personally. The negative comments, the frustration, the anger directed towards you. And afterwards, your mind goes 1,000 miles an hour trying to question yourself. Did I do something wrong? Did I handle that situation properly? Could I have done something differently? And I've also had people who just didn't like me on a personal level, reasons I never fully understood. People talking about me to others, people making fun of me. And sometimes the hardest part about that is when those people were meant to be your friends. I used to spend a lot of time trying to work it out, trying to understand why someone would see me that way. But over time, I've realised something quite important. Sometimes people aren't reacting to you at all. They're reacting to their own interpretation of you, their own preconceived judgments. Sometimes it's based on something someone else has said about you. And once that idea is there, it can be very difficult to change. So part of this process for me has been learning to sit with that discomfort, question it, and eventually let it go. And that's where resilience begins. So what is resilience? Because people talk about resilience like it means nothing affects you, like you're just able to brush everything off and carry on as if it never happened. But that's not really how it works. For me, resilience isn't about pretending something didn't affect you, especially when you're already pushed to your limits. It's about what happens next. It's about recognizing what you're feeling in that moment, the frustration, the hurt, the doubt, and not allowing that feeling to take control of the rest of your day or the way that you see yourself. Because when someone criticizes you, mocks you, or misunderstands you, your mind will immediately start creating a story around it. And if you're not careful, that story becomes the way you start seeing yourself. So resilience isn't about being unaffected. Resilience is about having the awareness to pause, question the story your mind is telling you, and decide whether it's actually true. So let's make this a bit more relatable for a moment. Think about the last time someone said something negative about you. Maybe it was a comment at work. Maybe someone questioned your ability. Maybe it was something said behind your back, or even a comment online. In that moment, it might only last a few seconds. Just a sentence, a look, a tone in someone's voice. But what happens afterwards can last for hours, sometimes even days. Your mind starts replaying it. You go over the conversation again and again in your head. You start analysing every little detail. What did they mean by that? Did I say something wrong? Did I handle that badly? Is that actually how people see me? Before you realise it, that one moment has taken up a huge amount of space in your mind. You could have had 10 positive interactions in that day, but it's the one negative one that stays with you. It sits there in the background. You're thinking about it while you're driving home. You're thinking about it while you're trying to relax. You might even still be thinking about it the next morning. And suddenly one person's opinion, one person's interpretation of you has completely changed your mood for the rest of the day. And the interesting thing is, this happens to almost everyone. It's just part of how the human mind works. But when you really step back and look at it, you start to realise something important. It's not actually the comment itself that creates most of the suffering. It's the meaning we attach towards it afterwards, and the story we want to start building around it in our own minds. And I'll be completely honest with you. I'm an absolute sucker for this. This is something I still catch myself doing all the time. I'll sit and analyse every detail of a situation in my head, replaying conversations, trying to work out exactly what someone meant or why they even said it in the first place. And sometimes I'll get so caught up in it that even my partner will look at me and say, "You're here physically, but your mind is somewhere else." And she's right, because in that moment, I'm not actually present at all. I'm stuck in my head, replaying something that's already happened, trying to solve it, trying to understand it. And every now and then, I catch myself doing it, and I almost get annoyed at myself. I sit there thinking, why have I allowed this to take so much of my energy? Because the reality of it is, most of the time, it's something that I can't actually control. It's someone else's opinion, someone else's interpretation, someone else's frustration in that moment. And yet there I am, giving it space in my mind, long after the moment has already passed. So this is something I'm still working on. It's a process. What I've started to realise is that resilience isn't about never having those thoughts. Resilience is about noticing when it's happening and gently pulling yourself back out of that spiral. So my advice to you watching this is to start asking a different question. Not why did they say that? Not why did they see me that way? But something much simpler. Why am I allowing someone else's opinion to carry this much weight in my own mind? Because the reality is, every single person you meet is viewing the world through their own lens, their own experiences, their own frustrations, their own expectations of how things should be. So when someone reacts to you, they're not reacting to the full picture of who you are. They're reacting to the version of you that exists in their minds. And that version can be shaped by a lot of things. A bad day that they're having, something someone else has said about you, or sometimes just a moment where things didn't go the way they wanted them to. But the mistake we often make is that assuming that their interpretation must be somehow the truth. And it simply isn't. It's their perspective in that moment. And once I started to understand that, something shifted for me. I realised that I don't actually need to chase every opinion people have about me. I don't even need to convince everyone that I'm a good person. I don't need to explain myself to everyone. Because if you try to do that, you'll spend most of your life trying to manage other people's perceptions of you. And that's just an impossible task. So resilience for me has started to look like this: doing the best that I can in the moment. Being honest with myself about my intentions, learning from situations where I could have done better, but also accepting that some people will still see you in a way that doesn't reflect who you are, and being okay with that. So I want to put this to you. If you're watching this and any of this resonates with you, know your worth, know your truth, because at the end of the day, you're the only person who truly knows your values, your intentions, and the way you wish to live your life. You're the only person who owns that. People will form opinions about you. That is a given. People will misunderstand you. People will judge you based on a moment, a conversation, or something they've heard from someone else. But none of that changes who you actually are. And resilience for me has been learning not to hand that power over to other people, not allowing someone else's opinion to completely tarnish your day or shape the way you see yourself. Because if you give every opinion that level of control, you'll spend your life living inside other people's interpretations of you, instead of living as the person you know yourself to be. And that's something I'm still working on every single day. If this resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Feel free to leave a comment below or drop me a message through my socials. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.